Hello, I'm Lise-Lotte and this is Lily. Welcome to our garden on the west coast of Canada. I thought I would share with you today, in terms of creativity, a few of the flowers and the different kinds of flower containers, vessels that you can use when you're making flowers for, say, in my case, a garden party to celebrate the wedding of my daughter. And this one is, here we go, and I'll show you different, oh sorry, dropping petals on you here. I've taken some pictures. Oh, did I just lose the ranunculus? Yeah, I did. So I'll show you a few pictures here of the kinds of things that I have made, and mostly with things that I have grown here in my little flower farm, and also in my garden. And you know, we kind of transferred over from a big event that I had done where I provided 80 bouquets on one day, plus 2 big stage arrangements. And I've talked about that in previous videos. And you know, when you think about a flower farm, you're thinking about really production and timing and when you need what. And so it's all about kind of intention and counting counting on something to bloom at a certain time and so on. But when you are inviting people to something in your garden, when your little flower farm on a city lot becomes the backdrop for a celebration, it really changes things a lot, because you want to have color, you want to have things in bloom, you want to have some interest in the garden, and that's not really, it's actually the antithesis of a flower farm. In a flower farm, like for example, these ranunculus, I grew in the hoop house, and when they were just kind of budding up, they were a little more closed than she is. Then they got picked and went right into the fridge, and not my home fridge, but my little fridge in my flower studio, and they kind of waited out there for a few weeks. Same with the peonies. And so, you know, when you look at a flower farm, like I had gone out to a wonderful flower farm locally, Ivy Way, and had bought some of these beautiful flowers, this one and the astilbes, and the stock. Some of the stalks are mine. We grow a lot of the same stuff, but I haven't been able to grow this yet, and so I'm excited next year to grow some. And you know, you look around another person's flower farm and you think, oh yeah, here we go, because she's got all the stuff cut, and of course it's in the fridge. So you don't see color necessarily when you come to a flower farm, but when you are living and working in the same space, and then the space changes over to be something, as I say, a backdrop to a celebration, you do want color. So it was kind of an interesting way to think about what would I leave, and what wouldn't I cut for the other things, and how, you know, will it be in bloom on time and stuff like that. So we did have the celebration, and it was wonderful. We did have, oh, you're hearing a hummingbird. We did have rain up until the very end, just before people arrived. So that we had also set up inside if we needed to, but really the outside is where I had spent all, you know, of my time, and the family had done all kinds of big projects in preparation just for living in the garden, and but then happy to be sharing it on that day. So we wanted to be in the garden, and as it turned out, we were. So that was just such a gift, because, you know, as any event planner of any event of any size, it's the things that you can't control, right, that are sometimes really stressful but can change the whole thing. So for us to be out when it wasn't too hot, wasn't too sunny, and more importantly, it wasn't raining, and it wasn't windy, so it was just nice and calm, and that was a gift. That was a real gift. So I will share here some of the flowers that I made for that event, and I'm going to be going out in the next few weeks to Nova Scotia, which is on the east coast of Canada, where my daughter's wedding will be, and she has asked if I would do the flowers for her wedding. And I am super thrilled about that. And it is one of the reasons that I signed up for the Florette flower arranging course, so that I could learn more about wedding flowers, because although I have done weddings, you know, this is the one wedding of its kind that I will be doing. And so I wanted to learn all that I could. So I have videos to go through and stuff like that, still things to learn. But I'm very excited about it. But you know, the thing that I thought you would find most interesting about this is this. So when you know, when we figured out where the wedding was going to be, and after she had asked me, then I thought, well, where am I going to get the flowers that are like the flowers that I grow here? And in the original Florette flower farming course, Erin Benzakein, who's the teacher, had you know, sort of set up this system, like if you've taken the course here, and she had this map, and I kind of vaguely remember that. Like, I didn't participate in it because I wasn't really at that point yet, but there are flower farms all over the world with mostly women growing specialty flowers that don't travel very well, but which are absolutely stunningly beautiful. And some of them, like sweet peas, for example, if we aren't growing them, you know, they will start to not be able to be grown because we'll lose that. So there is sort of that component, that environmental component. You know, we're not traveling, we're not going long distances to take flowers from one place to the other, and we're not growing them with chemicals, for sure. So it is safer for the person arranging the flowers as well. You don't have to use gloves or anything. I mean, unless it's like thorns with the roses, but you want to take those off. But other than that, it's completely safe. And I think because there are so many women who are doing this as their own business and who have children at home, you want to make sure that what you grow and what your children are around are completely safe. And so I think that's another component of it. So, which is really lovely, and I love all of that. And so anyway, I had remembered that this map existed, and I thought, well, I wonder if there's somebody else, you know, like me, or like Busy Bee Farm and Floral, who I know here, who sells buckets of flowers, and a lot of the growers here do. You can buy a bucket of flowers and either sort of request a kind of color or not, or however they do it. It's all done differently. But I have done that before. I've bought flowers in buckets and just to bulk up an order that I need, or if something hasn't bloomed and I need more, whatever it is. So it's a wonderful thing. And anyway, and so we thought, oh, maybe there's something like that, so I don't have to be buying, you know, commercially grown flowers that have been flown in from somewhere and they have all these chemicals. So before I say this, I need to tell you, so my membership is called GEMS, and it stands for Gathering Experiences That Are Meaningful, so GEMS. And I do a lot of workshops on creativity, and the way that I am doing these workshops on creativity, they all have sort of a through line as to how I introduce and encourage and hopefully inspire creativity. And so I'm calling that the Flora Creativity Practice, so Flora. So my husband was looking up, you know, flower farms and so on in this area that we're going to in Nova Scotia. And then he came upon one, and he said, oh, this person took the same Florette course that you did. And I'm like, oh, that would be awesome. And then we went to her website, which is beautiful, and she grows beautiful things, and she grows a lot of the same things that I do. And because of our seasons, it's a little bit different, but there will be, like now here on the West Coast, peonies are just ending, really. If not, for some people, they're completely over. But anyway, and the ranunculus are, again, they're ending, like, but the season is slightly different there. So I'm going to have peonies to work with, and ranuncs to work with, and David Austin roses to get to play with. And anyway, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So my husband said, what do you think, you'll never guess, what do you think the name of the farm is? I said, I don't know. And he said, it's called Little Flora Gem Farm. And I'm like, you are kidding me. So yeah, I guess that's what we're doing. And so I got in touch, and sure enough, we're all set to go, and I'll be picking up the flowers with the instructions of keeping them cool and not in the back of a truck, and in a dark place if possible. And so we've rented a car based on what the flowers need. So they need air conditioning and to be kept cool. And we rented an Airbnb based on the flowers. Does it have a fridge that's big enough for the flowers? Because I want to be able to arrange them. So I will, when I do this, I will be taking pictures, and so I can share them here with you, because I won't be taking pictures at the wedding, so that's won't be shared, but I'm allowed to share the flowers, because after all, aren't we all here for the flowers? I follow a lot of people online on Instagram, and you know, it's really for the flowers. What do the bouquets look like? Oh, those are interesting colors together, and it's fun to see what everybody does. But I look forward to playing with these flowers, and I have done weddings before, and I did for my very dear friend in Copenhagen a few years ago. I did her wedding flowers and her bouquet, and when I was doing the bouquet, I was at my cousin's house, and my cousin is this is not her full-time gig, but her kind of passion project, and so she's done a lot of weddings for friends, and she has a great eye, and we both have this keen interest in flowers, and we always have. And so I had the bouquet, and I'm kind of looking at it, I'm like, there's something wrong with it, like something just doesn't work. And then she said, well, how about you take out this, like just one thing, I can't even remember what it was, and I went, that's it, it's done now, like this is it, this is the one thing. Why don't we live closer? Here I am on the west coast of Canada, and you're in Denmark, and she is coming to Nova Scotia, and we get to do the flowers together. So it's going to be a wonderful thing. And you know, I often talk about how flowers can say the things that words can't. You know, when we used to travel with the children, we'd go on long road trips to see grandparents. And I remember borrowing these, at that time, CDs and stuff and tapes in the car. Actually, I think it was a tape. And it was about, maybe you have come across these too. They were really, really good. And it's like Mozart Lives Upstairs, and it's, you know, like it's famous. It's historical fiction. But it's through the eyes of a child, and it's to be listened to. So the music is introduced, the sound, the reading, the words, everything. And in one of these, I remember the line, music, something like music goes to a place, says music goes to a place that words cannot, or something like that. I'm not quoting it exactly, but I feel like my flowers do that. Like I feel as though my flowers often communicate for people. Well, I grow my flowers for people to share their kindness in the world. That's why I grow them. But I feel as though they often say something to people that between people the words don't reach. It goes to a different place, and maybe it's the intention. And so I feel like with doing the flowers here for this BC celebration, and just you know, with Lily and in the garden, really to celebrate with very special people who had come from, in some cases, a long way away to come to the garden to be here on a certain day. It's pretty special, and almost to the point of overwhelming, actually, in that sort of emotionally, you know, when you're happy, you know, the happy tears. It's pretty big, actually. And so it's also, I think, very grounding. It was for me, I noticed, very grounding to just play with some flowers, have some fun, and getting to play with flowers that aren't only mine, right? But also just being very grateful to be able to be asked to do this, to follow the tradition of my mom, and really to pour all the love that these flowers were grown in, put it all together, and then share that into the world. And I think that speaks words that are important, actually, about love. And after all, isn't that the celebration? So I will share the flowers when I get there, and a little bit about the farm. I hope to get some pictures of the farm and picking up the flowers and stuff like that. That's my idea. So we'll see how it all goes, and I will share with you when I get back. And I hope in the meantime that you are enjoying a wonderful beginning of July. And I guess I won't see you before Canada Day. Yes, it won't. So happy Canada Day if you are here in Canada. And if you're somewhere else in the world celebrating Canada Day, happy Canada Day on July 1st. And I hope you're enjoying the summer, and I wish you peace on your path.